So I've been on YouTube for a little under a decade at this point, and the best thing that I ever did was listen to the top earning YouTubers, not necessarily the top viewed YouTubers, but the people that made the most amount of money, going to masterminds with them, becoming friends with a lot of them in different niches, basically heeding their advice, learning the things that they do that is completely different to the average sea of YouTuber out there that struggles to grow on YouTube, that creates video after video after video and are stuck in the purgatory of 200 views. And so in this video, I'm basically going to take you through the 3 phases of becoming a full-time YouTuber. We're going to go from growing to monetizing and to scaling your YouTube business. But before I get into it, my name is Haley, and on this channel, I basically teach content creators how to not only grow massively viral audiences on YouTube specifically, but also how to turn that content into an asset that they can make money from in the version of courses and coaching programs so that they can own more of their time. And as a homeschool mom of 4 little kids, that is exactly what I'm looking to do personally. And so if you're interested in that business model, having sort of like an integrated life amongst your family, being able to spend more time with your kids and not being a slave to content, then go ahead and subscribe down below, and let's go ahead and get into the first lesson. So the first thing I learned from the top earning YouTubers is that basically the sweet number for how much you should post every single week is this: post on average 1.37, I know it's a weird number, but about 1.37 videos every single week to their YouTube channel. So every time you think, oh no, I need to vlog like 5 days a week, that is outdated information, okay? So personally for me, success leaves clues. Love him or hate him, but Tony Robbins says that, and I live and die by that because I don't necessarily want to reinvent the wheel. So what's interesting to me is that the top earning YouTubers, they basically make a little over 1 video a week, on average 1.5-ish, okay? So for me, if I want to accelerate my growth, obviously when I was a novice, I was posting like 3 times a week. So the more that you can post on YouTube, the more confidence you're going to have in your abilities and the more influence you're going to be able to tap into with your audience. And so I do think when you're a beginner, the more videos that you can post, the better, just to refine and hone in on your skills. But on average, it's better to have a compounding effect where you are consistently posting at least 1 video every single week. The second thing that I learned is to have episodic content. I say this wrong every time and I keep forgetting to look it up. Episodic. Basically, it's like you want to be Netflix, okay? You want to be your favorite Netflix show that people just can't stop watching. So what do I mean by that? A lot of people create videos based off of trends. I was one of them for years on my main motherhood channel when I started to get some traction on YouTube, and what was allowed me to help my husband quit his job, allowed me to hit 7 figures, is basically because I did a lifestyle brand through the motherhood category. And so I was documenting everything, but I really started to skew it based off of just whatever people were looking for, and not so much the same sticky sub niche, which I talk about in a recent video about how to niche down to go viral. A lot of people really like put down niching down, but I talk about why you should do it initially and why it's not good over the long term, but why initially it's going to help you gain way more traction faster, is committing to one niche. And before you're like, oh, I can't commit, I am like multifaceted, multi-passionate person. The reason why you want to commit and niche down to a sticky sub niche, which again, watch the other video, I'll link above and down below to know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's basically a sub niche where small creators are going viral in the present year that you're creating your content. And so you're leveraging the untapped market for that sub niche, and you're finding videos that have a low demand and a very high supply on YouTube. And I talk about that strategy in detail, but you want to do that so that the majority of your audience, or ideally all of them, watch every single video. For instance, the opposite to this is if you have like a weight loss brand, okay? So if you do Monday's video is how I lost 60 pounds postpartum, Wednesday's videos is a day in the life, and then Friday's videos is a morning routine of a mom of 3 kids. I did this type of thing for years, and while there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, it did grow me a lot, but I could have grown legit 10x if I had stuck with any one of these categories. Now, that doesn't mean I want you to do a day in the life or like a morning routine 3 times a week or every single week over and over. That's like ridiculous. But what I mean is you want to stick yourself to a niche and not move from that niche until you get your initial traction, so you can have people in your audience show up for video after video after video. Because let's say you have one of those videos go viral, you have how to lose weight, and then your next video is a day in the life. Well, all the people that came for the how to lose weight video, they're not going to want to watch your day in the life and how you like walk your dog in the morning and how you put your makeup on. Like, that's not your niche, okay? And so you have this very fragmented, disjointed audience. And so again, if you're looking to get paid and grow a massive audience, initially I would say stick to the one thing that you want to be known for right from the get-go. And then one day when you're hitting your income goals, feel free to branch out to talk about whatever you want. But take it from me, as a person who did talk about whatever I wanted for like 5 years straight, it was the number one thing that hindered me from growth and from making the money that I was looking to make from YouTube, because people just weren't watching all of my videos. They'd watch watch, sometimes my channel, because of the video that they were attracted to me from, I just didn't feel the need for that type of content with all of my content pieces. AKA, it wasn't episodic content where they're looking for the next video because they all relate to one another. The other reason why you want to do that is because you want a lot of views on all of your videos. If advertisers, aka sponsors, see that one video gets 10,000 views, and this was me, one video gets 3,000 views, one video gets 100,000 views, they don't really know what to pay you. They want to see consistency. They want to see a promised ROI, return on their ad investment with you. And it's a safer bet that they place with you if they see that all your views are consistently the same. They know what to expect. They know that you're worth it. And when you create videos in all different niches, it's going to be hard for them to pay more versus a creator that gets consistently the same amount of views because they create content for one type of person. So the third thing, all top YouTubers say this. I swear I see this in podcasts, on YouTube videos, and it's basically they wish they would have sold their own products so much faster. I think there's this huge common misconception that you need a massive audience in order to feel credible or feel like it's the right time to sell your own products, whether it's physical or digital. But that is such a big misconception. Okay, my husband was able to quit his full-time 6-figure a year job because of the first product we ever sold, which was actually a physical product. And I wouldn't recommend you get started with that right away. I'll tell you why in a minute. But we sold a baby car seat cover on Amazon. It was during the time where Amazon was hype and doing Amazon FBA was all the rage. Nowadays, the Chinese take over everything. That's another topic for another time. And they basically took over our listing. They just mocked up our product and slapped their own label on it, sold it for cheaper because it was a manufacturer that was selling things on Amazon. And so I guess I'll get into it. If you're looking to do a physical product, it better be pretty intricate if you're selling it on Amazon, or you better have just like a massive audience of raving fans. Again, I wouldn't recommend doing that because then it's going to take you getting a massive audience of raving fans year after year after year to get a significant payout. And so what I would recommend that most YouTubers say, which is what we do, is sell info products because you take home over 90% of the profit. So there is one common factor that all of the top YouTubers basically do, and they sell info products. They sell courses, they sell coaching. We obviously teach people how to do this, but you can believe me or not, it's just the proof is in what they're doing. And so all of the top YouTubers that we actually work with, they all say they wish they would have sold their info products sooner, specifically courses, higher ticket courses. So you can sell ebooks all day long or checklists or downloadables. But the thing that's really going to massively change your life is selling courses. The sweet spot is around $300, $297 all the way to thousands of dollars. And that business model is so freeing, specifically as a mom of 4 who homeschools with my husband, all our kids, and we do this full time. I'm able to work 1 day a week and create content on just 1 day and get paid all 7 days a week because I have a funnel and a system, which is something that we teach. We have a full training down below about how we do this full time and what it looks like. And you guys can pick apart our own funnel and see how it works so that we can make semi-passive income that fuels YouTube, because YouTube isn't cheap. Okay. A lot of people think that you just need a camera and a background, which you do initially to get started out. But eventually, if you want to buy back your time, which I would recommend you guys do as soon as you get your first AdSense check, which I talked about in our last video, you want to put that into a person that's going to edit your own videos, a person that's potentially going to edit your, take your YouTube videos and turn them into YouTube shorts or into reels. And so that you're not just being a slave to being a YouTuber and also having to manage potentially like a family and a kids and a life, and you want some breathing room. And how you do that is you need capital. Okay. You don't want to always have to go viral and maintain a large audience to get paid through Google AdSense. You want to control more of your income, which is what the top YouTubers do. And so they do that by selling digital products in the form specifically of courses. So going back to like the whole physical product model, I love physical products. I think it's so cool and it's so fun to honestly, personally have my kids see physical products. They can't really conceptualize a digital product yet. So just like personal reasons, I love physical products. I think it's so fun for the brand. It's very involving with your audience to see them holding your physical products. But I wouldn't recommend people do that until they have the capital, to be honest, from digital products. And so you can make way more money and there's more of a cushion and you don't have to spend $15,000 on a baby, 500 or however many we did, thousands of baby car seat covers with your savings, like my husband and I did, to sell a product where we don't even know if people are going to like it. Luckily they did. But yeah, if I could have reversed the hands of time, I would have sold digital products first, took the money from that, and then went into physical products. The fourth thing that I learned is honestly something that is going to go over a lot of your guys' head. It's more of a high level thought process. But I would recommend strongly that you listen to this point, because there's some phrase out there, I don't remember the cheesy quote, but it's like, if you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there. I think I keep saying this in all my videos. For some reason, it keeps coming up. But basically, you want to know where you're going. And there's actually another one that I really meant to lead with, which is something like, and I'll put on the screen, if you know the place you're going to go to die, then you're not going to want to go there. I forget the exact quote. I'll put on the screen. But basically, you want to know what the top YouTubers' biggest regrets are. And this is something that is a regret. And that is, they actually all want to detach from their brands eventually. So YouTubers, content creators, they do face burnout, unlike most business. I think actually everybody that works in 8 to 5 faces burnout. They just have to keep doing it. People burn out just in general. Why do you think the midlife crises is a thing? But especially for content creators, their version of burnout is switching niches, totally like taking hiatuses, is that a word, from YouTube, so that they can like recenter themselves and realize like, is this the topics that they want to learn more about and create content on when they're like 50 years old, 60 years old, 70 years old, I don't know, whenever they retire. And so what they wish they would have done is created brands where they basically don't necessarily have to create content in order to sell the products. So for instance, you guys probably watch maybe Ali Abdaal. He's creating Productivity Lab. His whole thing is he wanted to create like a membership where people basically buy into his membership, where they get productivity advice. I'm not a part of it, but it's something like that. They pay monthly and it scales through other influencers. So he basically gives people maybe like an affiliate link. I don't know if he's doing that yet, but this is like the logical next solution. Or he runs ads to it. He has a team running ads to it. And it's not only his face selling it, which we've done both. It can get very fatiguing and it feels like you can never turn off, never get a break. And you also can't sell a creator business with your face on it. You can sell a business that you own, but you can't sell your face, obviously. So they all wish they would have created brands from the get-go where they could eventually sell to make millions of dollars and get like a buyout. So there's a couple options that I see logically that creators doing in order to avoid the burnout and them having to be doing the same type of content creation when they're in their 60s or 70s or whenever they retire. 70, maybe not. But the first thing is you grind every day and you aim for fire. So this is something that a lot of them talk about within the masterminds that I'm in, and also my own students that have 7-figure brands. Even though I have smaller YouTube channels, one of them has 180,000 subs. This one has, I don't know, around 30,000. I don't even know. I don't even care, because I earn 7 figures from these platforms. I don't need to maintain millions of views in order to get paid $1 million. But maybe watch my other videos to know more about how I do that. I actually did one last week about how I manage my time and how we're able to create this system that allows for that type of integrated lifestyle. So they'll treat their YouTube channel as the cash cow that it is if they sell their own products, specifically digital courses and coaching programs. They'll churn out a ton of cash and then they'll put it all into the stock market. They'll spend less on their lifestyle and they'll put all their money into mutual funds and things like that so that they can retire early and so that they don't have the responsibility of managing another business. This is specifically for YouTubers that are moms. This is what my husband and I are aiming to do. We don't necessarily want to have like a $20 million payout. That would be nice, but it requires managing a big team, not necessarily being able to homeschool our kids when we want, spend time with our kids. And we value the small years that we have with our little kids and taking summers off and doing this like passive, semi-passive income business. Number 2 is you own your own business, like Colin and Samir. They own, actually, it's like a business called The Published Press. People wouldn't see it as this, but it's basically an email newsletter, and it's a weekly newsletter. Their team writes it. They're not necessarily the face of it because they're just reporting on industry news, but obviously their YouTube channel pushes like a lot of email subscribers. One day they can sell their email list. Okay. So this is something Doug and I are looking to start this year, is creating an email list business. Now, before you're like, what the heck, what is that? How would you ever be able to sell an email list? Well, you absolutely can. You guys can look at My First Million. They're great. Well, it's not them. It's Sam Parr. He sold The Hustle for, I think, $20 million like 2 years ago. I can't remember, but you guys can check that out. I'll leave all of the links for you guys to snoop around on the internet and learn about different business models. But he sold his email newsletter, okay, called The Hustle. It reports on marketing trends within the online business world for $20 million. So the way that he got subscribers is through paid ads, most likely. At least that's what he talks about. The way that you can do it though is organically through YouTube videos. But there are other examples of creating a business that you can eventually have a big payday one day. So another one is Primal Kitchen. I forgot what his name is. I think it's Dave, but I'll put on the screen. He basically sold Primal Kitchen for, I think, definitely over $100 million. Don't quote me, but it's like, you know, a natural condiment food business. That's what we have like in our kitchen. We eat the Primal Mayo. It's like, I think it's avocado mayo. It's got no seed oils, nothing bad, no sugar in the ketchup. We absolutely love it. And yeah, he was a YouTuber and he's older. So I absolutely love that example because he's older and it shows like if he can do it, you can. Another one is like ConvertKit. So ConvertKit it's not a massive payout yet. He still runs his own business, but his name is Nathan Barry and he was a blogger. He started an email provider provider called ConvertKit. They just rebranded to Kit. And basically, yeah, it's just like an email provider and they're amazing. We love ConvertKit or Kit nowadays. That's what it's called. I think the company's valued at $40 million. And so they use their presence on social media to get proof of concept to their product. And then they eventually get a lot of sales, get a lot of testimonials, get a lot of MRR, monthly recurring revenue to their products. They pitch it to investors and then they have a big payout. It's easier said than done. This is like one of the hardest things you could ever do because it requires a lot of capital. Again, get that from info products and digital courses in my recommendation. So the third one is a holding company. Sahil Bloom he has a holding company. I forget what it's called, but basically you can create companies yourself or with other influencers and you push your services via those influencers and you all have a stake, but they all have a stake in like a video editing service. And so through their videos, they do their own ads to their own product that they all own a percentage share of or a percentage cut of. And so they will go on their videos and say, hey, this video is sponsored by, I think one of them is actually called Viral Cuts. And so if you want, professional video editing services, here's my code. And they actually take home way more of the profits because they own a large percentage of that company. So the fifth thing I learned from the top YouTubers is probably more up a beginner's alley, but I still have to constantly remind myself of these things every single day. And that is be a YouTuber, not an influencer. So what do I mean by that? Okay. You need to not spread yourself thin. So when I first started to try to be a YouTuber, I wasn't like, I'm going to be a YouTuber. I said to myself years ago, I'm going to be a blogger because that was super hot in like 2015. I was like, I'm going to be a blogger. I'm going to master SEO. And then I realized YouTube is way easier than like writing. It wasn't being on camera is easier in my opinion, even if you don't have the skill initially, like I didn't. Ranking a blog is very difficult. You need a lot of backlinks. My husband did SEO for 5 years. So we just know the brutal reality of being a blogger. You can make way more money in like 6 months, like 20x the income that you could from blogging in just 6 months of being a YouTuber. So I quickly switched from blogging to YouTubing. But my point to this is the top YouTubers say, do not try to become a jack of all trades, master the craft that is YouTube. And they don't even need to say it. It's just what I see they all do. They're not also bloggers. They're not also, experts on Instagram. They're not also going on stories every day on Instagram or posting like reels constantly. They start with YouTube because it is evergreen. YouTube is amazing because if you get ranked one video, you can get sales if you have a passive income funnel like I teach from that video for the lifetime of your channel. So for instance, this video, I'll put on the screen somewhere here, is a video that is old. Okay. It talks about, it's not that old. It's all very relevant. You should watch it, but basically it's how to go viral on YouTube. And I was in a totally different phase of life. I think it's like 5 years old. I still make semi-passive income. I mean, it's pretty passive at this point. I have to maintain this channel or else the channel will die off. And I'm reigniting the channel right now, obviously, posting a ton, but I still get sales to our course YouTubepreneur, which is updated to 2024, algorithm and standards. But I still get sales through my funnel from that old video because it's evergreen and it's ranked specifically on Google. Google is YouTube. If you rank a video on YouTube, it's ranked on Google. And so when you type in best niches, my video pops up on Google and people go to my YouTube video, they like what they hear and they buy my course for however much money I sell it for. And so that is what YouTubers are talking about when they say go all in on YouTube. Create evergreen videos that are going to get sales for, years and years and years afterwards. If you try to do Instagram, if you try to do Pinterest, if you try to do blogging, you're not going to hone the craft and the skills required to make that type of income and create the evergreen videos that are responsible for passive income sales to your courses and products. And so that's why it's so important to go all in on YouTube because the ROI is just astronomical compared to any other income stream out there, any other platform out there. And so it's in your best interest to go all in on YouTube. There are also so many skills that people just don't really fine tooth comb nitpick, which is like one of my biggest critiques for like people that are trying to be full-time YouTubers. You have to have the bandwidth to be super laser focused on choosing the right idea, the right topic for your YouTube videos, doing the thumbnails, the titles, what else do I put here? The hooks, the intros, the call to actions, the editing, the retaining, the attention retaining, the scripting, not to mention showing up as an authority and having on-camera presence. I know you're like, why would I ever want to do this? You just listed 1,000 things that I suck at. You're not going to suck like I did if you do this 100 times over. And it's, again, the ROI is just ridiculously high compared to all of the other platforms. It's worth the heartache and the stress because you can get passive income sales if you sell your own products like I preach on this channel for life or however long that video is ranked, which could be years and years and years like the one I just mentioned. And so there's a lot to learn on YouTube. And if you're spreading yourself too thin, you're not going to master the craft that is required. So number 6, AdSense is business money, not spending money. So I mentioned this in my last video, but if I could tell myself one thing is don't get excited for the AdSense check. Actually, yeah, get excited, but look at it as like just money for your business. So reinvest all of the money that you make from AdSense right back into buying back your time through outsourcing editing, number one. So if you're still editing your own videos, but you're taking an AdSense check, look yourself in the mirror, slap yourself upside the head. I know, I'm so friendly. And make sure that you don't do that anymore, because you need to create more content to scale. A lot of the times you need to create products. There's so much other things for you to do than editing your videos, creating products, creating sales funnels, creating landing pages, opt-ins, email lists, that you have insurance for your brand, so that if your YouTube channel just gets yanked or taken over, you never know what happens. Or like for me on my other channel, my comments got disabled for like years. It's sketch land out there. You want to have insurance for your business in the form of an email list, but I digress. So there's so many other things for you to do, and it's not going to be editing. So the last thing is a little woo-woo, okay, but bear with me. It is become the person that people want to be like. So the top YouTubers out there, they speak in a place of authority. They don't speak in a place of like just pure entertainment. I mean, I know you might think, well, Mr. Beast entertains, but not all of us are like Mr. Beast. He doesn't sell info products. He runs this multi-million-dollar brand. I wouldn't try to emulate him if you want to have any resemblance, obviously, of work-life balance. Okay. So like I mentioned, I homeschool with my husband, our 4 little tiny kids, age 7 and under. We want to have like an integrated life. And so the way that we do that and the way that other people do that is we have influence. So how do you, this is a video, I should make a whole video on how to influence people on a deep psychological level, because I've had to read books on psychology. I'm not a therapist, but you know, selling and influencing, they go hand in hand. You don't necessarily need to be like, buy my products, buy my products, buy my products. You sell your products through how you show up organically and authentically on social media. And influence is a learned art, okay? It's a skill that you are only going to know when you do hundreds of videos like me. It's when you show up confidently every single day in all of your videos. You teach people the outcome, and you show the outcome of what you're able to basically live through because of the product that you sell. And you do it in an authentically non-sleazy, gross, scammy way. But number 2, it is empathizing with people. So the top YouTubers, they're not like, I'm the best, look at me. They always almost lead with a story, okay? So not just shilling tip. Here are my 7 tips, and it's very basic. There are a lot of YouTubers doing that. I've done that in the past, but it's almost like you're a robot, like you're an AI, okay, to be frank. And it's not something that people want to be. You're not something that people want to be. So you have to empathize with where people are, and also sharing where you were and how you got out the other side with a story. And so that's how you're primarily going to show up on social media, through storytelling and through sharing the outcome that you provide for people. The third facet is relatability. You don't want to necessarily start with that. You want to share that you went through that season of life and how you came out, like I said, empathizing through the other side, through like a relatable story. So a large portion of the top YouTubers' content, I find, is storytelling. It's what people feel most connected with, and that's how you build a cult-like following. But that is pretty much it about what I've learned in studying and being sometimes amongst the highest earning YouTubers. If you guys got value from this video, hit the like button, subscribe down below, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.